Greetings. Peace, 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 peace. It is Tonya from the Good Asé. Peace to everybody today. Today is December 20th, 2020. And let's see. I'm going to put here in the chat a quick little link reminder. So today, if you look at the peace, Alicia, if you look at the title of this whole video, it's about a super simple explanation of this huge, everybody's talking about it, grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn tomorrow on the winter solstice. So it's a lot happening. We got the winter solstice, we got the planet Jupiter and the planet Saturn coming together in the sign of Aquarius. And so a lot of people are like, oh, like antsy, like, oh, it's some new energy coming in and some new planetary shifts happening. You know, all this stuff is going to happen for me and things are going to open up and things are going to change and all of this kind of stuff, right? And I can definitely feel the energy coming. I can sense that it's coming. You know, like before there's a shift, you can kind of, you know, feel like, okay, we're preparing for something. Something's about to change. Something's about to shift. But with that knowledge, with that information that we are all hearing at this time, there's a lot of confusion about it, right? There's a lot of, you know, this feeling that something big is about to happen, but I don't know what. And so, ooh, some change is going to happen, right? And so everybody's all excited about, you know, this grand conjunction happening on the winter solstice. So my goal today is to only be on here for like 15 minutes. Should set a timer, because I feel like if you can't explain something in 10 to 15 minutes in a way that people can understand, then you overcomplicate it and it gets too big. And I think that's part of the problem, right? When we hear things about, you know, all of these planetary shifts happening, and we're like, ooh, you know, how is it going to change my life? And we get so deep in it that we miss the point. So before I get started, before my 15 minutes starts, I want to say peace to everybody on here. Right, Alicia just said, I just want to know what I need to do to understand and take action. It's that simple, right? It's ultimately, that's what most people just want to know and understand. And so that is my task on here. So before I get started with that, if you look, you see I have a comment that's pinned. It says almost gone, the 8-stone year-end survival kit and workshop. CQ and I, actually CQ received, I'm calling it, I don't know what she's going to call it, but I'm calling it like a divine download. Like she was just meditating one day and studying and listening, watching a video about something, and she just received like a divine message on what we need to do to not only survive the rest of 2020, but to go into 2021 with a lot of power, with a lot of clarity, and with the tools that we need. And so when that message came to her, it came to her in terms of 8 stones. There were 8 stones that were kind of, she intuitively was revealed to her, you know, the 8 stones that we would need to work on, to work with, not work on, the 8 stones that we would need to work with, and the message of each of those 8 stones on how we can really thrive and survive and thrive through the end of 2020 and into 2021. She and I are recording that message, I want to say tomorrow or Tuesday. And it will be available to those of you who have purchased on Christmas Eve. And this week, those 8 stones will be sent out to you. So we know we already have a few people who have signed up for it. This is going to be the last few days that you can sign up for that. If you haven't, that link is down there. You receive all 8 of the stones plus the 1 hour video message that she and I will be recording, and you will have access to that video message for 30 days. So you get the 1 hour video message plus the 8 crystals and gemstones sent, mailed to you. And all of that is only $45. And you know, the stones themselves have a cost. So you're getting that plus the 1 hour video on how to not only survive 2020, but go into 2021 with power and gusto and vitality, and how to work with those 8 stones to keep your energy up. All right. So if you want that, click it, because it's going to come down for real within the next 2 days. Okay. With that being said, my 15 minutes are about to start. So here we go with the winter solstice, which is taking place on tomorrow, December 21st, and the grand conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn. All right, so let me give you a little bit. I'm gonna give a little bit of a background. Where do I want to start? Should I start with the winter solstice or the conjunction? Let me start with the conjunction. So a conjunction in astrology is super simple. Yes, Alicia, I know you pick up a lot of your items. So yes, that should be available for pickup. I'll confirm that with CQ. But you can sign up at the link that I have pinned down below. So, the grand conjunction, a conjunction is just when 2 planets come together. You know, picture it like you and your homegirls, right? Y'all, during COVID season, we all been separate. We all been doing the Zoom thing, right? And then, but you remember back when we all could really gather and come together? That's kind of what a conjunction is. It's like the planets, certain planets have been kind of apart from each other for a while, and they've been getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, they get to come together. And they, you know, it's like when you and your friends, y'all come together, you feed off of their energy, they feed off of your energy. And there's certain things that can only happen when y'all come together, right? And when y'all come together, and you know, it's always that one friend that didn't come to the party or didn't whatever. So they miss all the little inside jokes. They miss all the little fun y'all had. And when you try to explain it to them, they don't get it because what's the saying? You had to be there to understand, right? So that's kind of what a conjunction is. So Jupiter and Saturn are getting closer and closer and closer, and they're finally conjuncting. They'll be like side by side, like, hey Jupiter, how you doing? Hey Saturn, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? They'll be together like that. And so Jupiter's energy is big, it's expensive, is whatever you want, you know, wherever Jupiter is, like in your birth chart. And if you want a birth chart reading, CQ and I also do that at the link down below, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to eat into my 15 minutes. Okay. But Jupiter's energy is wherever it is in the sky, and wherever it is in your own personal chart, is where it gives big blessings. You know, it's like you get big blessings you didn't even have to ask for, you didn't have to work for. It expands whatever you want, good or bad, you know. So if you're vibrating on a low energy, it's like, oh, we doing a low energy? Okay, let's blow that up. You know, if you're vibrating on a high energy, Jupiter's like, oh, let's blow that up, right? Jupiter's always wanting to bless you, wanting to expand you, wanting to grow you, wanting to multiply, give abundance, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what Jupiter's bringing to the party. That's what Jupiter's bringing to the shindig, to the conjunction. Not Aquarius. Saturn, though. Saturn is more restrictive and responsible. So Saturn is like that friend that's like, you know, Saturn is the friend that you go to and you say, girl, I'm going to start a new business tomorrow, right? That's what Jupiter's saying. Jupiter's saying, I'm starting a new business tomorrow. I'm going to be a millionaire in 6 months. But Saturn comes and says, well, did you get your tax ID? Did you get your inventory? Are you going to be responsible with your business and your customers? Did you respond to so Saturn is the responsible one, the restrictive one, the one that's always like, you know, did you earn your success? Did you work hard enough for it? You know, and all that kind of stuff. But Jupiter is like, I just want to just big blessings. You know, I always say Jupiter is big blessings. Saturn is big lessons. So Saturn blesses you if you learn the lessons and do the work and you be responsible. Jupiter will bless you just because, right? And we need both. Like, people love Jupiter and like, ooh, Jupiter's doing this and blessings, blah, 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 right? But if you're irresponsible, if you if you're immature, if whatever. We see people all the time who get big blessings but don't have the responsibility to manage those big blessings. So people sometimes don't like Saturn because Saturn is restrictive and punishment sometimes, and responsibility and discipline. But it's those character traits that help you to receive the big blessings that you desire for your life. So when these two planets come together in their little party, in their little conjunction, it sets off a new gateway, if you will. New doors open for a new way of blessings flowing to you, but a new level of responsibility, right? So this is where I personally, when I hear people like, "Ooh, this big conjunction, all this magic gonna happen," I'm like, but are you ready? Are you ready for it, right? And especially because it's happening in the sign of Aquarius. So this is whole thing that, and I feel like I'm talking fast, but this will be up here. You got to rewind and get the point. If you got some questions, you can comment those below and I'll try my best to answer them. But the sign of Aquarius is known as, the rebellious one, the overthrowing of old structures, and the age of Aquarius. Everybody love the age of Aquarius and all this humanitarian stuff and all of this stuff, right? Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Right? Because Aquarius itself represents fresh, new energy, new vision stuff. It is like freedom from all of the crap that has just held us down, whether it was stuff we put on ourselves or whether it was stuff that like governmental stuff and all that stuff, right? So when Jupiter and Saturn are both coming together for a party and moving together in the sign of Aquarius, is this knowing that something new is about to open up and old structures are passing away, and we're doing it new, and it's about the people and the love of humanity and all of this wonderful, great stuff. But, we have to remember that, each of these signs build upon each other. So what did I just say? These two planets are moving out of Capricorn and going into Aquarius together, right? But every sign prepares, every astrological sign, every zodiac sign prepares us for the next sign. What do I mean by that? Okay, so what's the first sign of the zodiac? This is astrology 101. The first sign of the zodiac is Aries, right? But Aries prepares you for the second sign, which is Taurus. Then when you're in Taurus season, Taurus prepares you for Gemini. And Gemini prepares you for Cancer. Cancer prepares you for Leo. Leo prepares you for Virgo. Virgo prepares you for Libra. Libra prepares you for Scorpio. Scorpio prepares us for Sagittarius. Sagittarius prepares us for Capricorn. And Capricorn prepares us for Aquarius. So why did I go down that whole line? Because if you are thinking, or we are thinking, that these two planets moving into Aquarius is just going to totally free us from stuff, then we have forgotten that those planets moving into Aquarius, they're coming out of Capricorn. This whole year has been a freaking Capricorn year. When we look at this year, we can see that it's been a Capricorn year. It's been a year of restriction. Can't do this, can't do that. Be responsible. Wear your mask. Because if you don't, that's irresponsible behavior. It's been a year of overthrown. We've already been kind of preparing for this Aquarius move, this conjunction into Aquarius, because it's about overthrowing rules and regulations that no longer benefit the people, but there was still a struggle with that, right? And so if we allow this conjunction to just move us without understanding that, for every structure that is overthrown, new structures have to be built, right? New structures have to be built. So think of it like this. If you say, I'm tired of my house, I'm going to tear my house down and start totally fresh, right? Well, even in starting totally fresh, you have to create a new structure, a new foundation in order to support that freshness that you were desiring. So, as Jupiter and Saturn are moving in this conjunction into Aquarius, offering us freshness, offering us, a new awakened vision and new awakened perspective of looking at the world and ourselves and other people, what new structures have to go with that? If you have this new, and I feel that I really need y'all to get this point. There is nothing in the cosmos that can happen apart from your willing participation. So if you're just sitting there like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to let these two conjuncting planets, take us into the brand new, but you still have an old mindset. You view the world in an old way, old perspective, and you don't do the work to level up your own mind, level up your own perspective. So what to do, like Alicia was saying in the comments, what do you do to facilitate this conjunction is ask yourself, what old ideas no longer serve me? And the impact of this conjunction will not just be on the day of the 21st. I almost hate when people get so caught up in the days that things happen, because we forget that it's a long-term thing. It's like a wedding. If you get so caught up on the wedding and you forget that y'all plan to be married until death do you part. Now, death do you part, hopefully, God willing, the creek don't rise, is for a long time. It's way longer than the wedding day, right? So picture December 21st as the wedding day of Jupiter and Saturn conjuncting in the sky. It's the wedding day. Ooh, right? But it will have long-term effects, long-term outcomes. So for the vision that you have for your life, in what areas do you need to level up? Because the universe is shifting. The universe is like, okay, y'all ready for something fresh and new? Here it is. But are you ready for it? So what old beliefs do you need to say, okay, that doesn't serve me anymore? Aquarius is about being a visionary and seeing the long term and seeing, the bigger picture, So how do you need to view the bigger picture? Aquarius energy. Again, these two planets are moving in the sign of Aquarius. So that's going to affect us all, because we all have Aquarius somewhere in our birth charts, right? And Aquarius energy is visionary, it's humanitarian, but it's also about how do you stand out in the crowd? Right? How do you shift the culture of the crowd? So Aquarius energy is very individualistic, but it's about how does the individual shape the world, shape the universe, shape your family, shape your company, shape your everything that you're a part of, right? Because you as an individual are also a part of a bigger collective called humanity, right? So how are you impacting the world? Or just your world, right? And so what beliefs, what habits, what behaviors, what patterns do you have that will either help or hinder the world around you? So many of us are wanting the universe to just dump all of these blessings in our life without us leveling up to, and I'm going to say this, but hear it how you need to hear it, without us leveling up to the God level, meaning the universe still sees you as God or as a child of God, right? So the universe is always like, okay, I'm doing this for you, but you God, so what you gonna do with this energy, right? How are you gonna utilize this energy to further yourself and further other people, right? So that is what this conjunction is like, the doorway opening. This conjunction is like, thank you for the heart. Sometimes I know it'd be like a Facebook delay, so sometimes it'd be a delay on the comments and the hearts and stuff, so I just got a bunch of hearts. So I'm glad it's resonating with somebody's heart chakra. Thank you very much. But so the universe is looking at us and saying, hey, I'm gonna open this door. What you gonna do with it? Right? So I would suggest that we all begin to create new structures that will support the vision where we're trying to go. One of the examples that came to me was, if you ever watched the story of of Apple, right? It was like a little documentary or a movie that came out a while ago with Apple. And it was two founders of Apple, both of them named Steve Jobs, and I think Steve Wozniacki, something like that. Anyway, Steve Jobs, everybody is familiar with him because, you know, he was always that visionary, that pioneer, that seeing, you know, he was the one who could foresee a touchscreen phone, that had everything in it, you know, well before a lot of other people, right? He was the visionary of Apple. But the other Steve was like, they would get into arguments, the two Steves, all the time, because the other Steve was like, Jobs, hey, look, you over here focusing on all these little visions that you want to have, but it is the rest of Apple. It's the MacBook, it's the not Windows, that's something else. It's the Macintosh, I don't know, all that other little Apple products, right? That's supporting you creating all of this other stuff you want to do. You know, so one Steve was all about the vision and not about the structure. The other Steve was all about the structure and still the visionary, but he's like, he understood that it took a sound structure to let that vision come through, right? So when this conjunction happens, and I've been seeing this with a lot of people, we're so excited about, ooh, something new about to happen, and overthrowing old structures, but we still need new structures to support the vision that we are going for. The vision that we desire for our lives still requires some level of support, structure, responsibility. And so that's what Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius will be teaching us, that as we go forward towards something new, we, as the children of the Most High, if you will, have to then create new structures to support the vision that we are going toward. So with all of that being said, how do you prepare? Right? So the second thing that I wanted to talk about is the winter solstice. And that happens every year on like the 21st, right? It's the first day of winter. It's the first day of Capricorn season on December 21st. I don't know why I keep wanting to say June 20th. That's the summer solstice. Okay. December 21st. And so we will be, whenever there's the winter solstice, it's the longest, darkest, it's the shortest day of the year. It's still 24 hours in the day, obviously, but it's the shortest day, meaning it's the day in which we have the least amount of daylight hours. We have more night on December 21st. So it's dark longer than it's day. All right. And so the winter solstice is when the sun seems to be away the longest time of the year. The winter solstice to me kind of reminds me of a new moon, but of the sun, right? So when you think in terms of setting intentions and all that kind of stuff, most of the time we do it during a new moon, right? New moon, you can't see the moon. And that's when you working your little spells or your little intentions. And I'm not saying little to be little. I'm just saying that's when people do those sorts of things. But the winter solstice is like the biggest time of the year, because now it's the sun that kind of disappears for a longer period of time. And so the winter solstice happening at the same time of this conjunction is the time to set those intentions for the entire year, probably more so than New Year's resolutions, right? The winter solstice is probably the best time to set those long-term intentions that you want to see for the next at least 6 months until the summer solstice in June, right? So it's the time, it's the darkest day of the year. So it's a time to go in. It's the time you want to, on tomorrow, on the 21st, you want to be a little less busy. Now, I know the 21st is happening on a Monday. For a lot of people, you still got to go to work or you got to log in and be in front of the camera. And, you know, we can't stop living. We can't stop moving, especially in the culture in which we live. But you want to set some time aside where you get quiet, because it is the darkest, quietest day universally, or at least on the earth plane of the year. So you want to get quiet. You know, sometimes we set intentions very loudly, right? We set intentions because, you know, we got social media up, Twitter's up, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everything is up, TikTok, everything's telling us what to think, how to think, what to want, how to want, what to ask for. Ooh, she got new shoes, I want new shoes. Ooh, she got a banging body, I want to bang. You know what I'm saying? So we're setting our intentions based on everything around us. However, during the winter solstice, it's time to shut out as many distractions as possible. I love it. Brandy was like, I plan to be off by noon so I can have my quiet time. Absolutely. You've got to set your yes, the winter solstice starts at 5:02 a.m. Eastern Standard. And if you can set those intentions at that time, that is totally fine. Because of how our society is set up and just life in general, I would say anytime during December 21st that you can carve out that time to set those intentions is the time to do it. But if you can set your alarm and get up, and depending on what time zone you're in, you can look it up and see what time the winter solstice really starts for you. Then you can do it at that time as well. But set those intentions without the distraction of what everybody else says you should want and have. Now, remember, this conjunction is happening at the same time with Jupiter and Saturn. Because of that, it's so important that as you are setting your intention, and your intention is being set, you know, quietly, without all of the distractions, without all of the foolishness, without all of the craziness, it is also imperative that you ask yourself, how can I be the reciprocal of that which I'm asking for? Because again, Jupiter is bringing big blessings, but Saturn is saying, but how are you going to be responsible for these big blessings that you desire? How are you going to level up? How are you going to create a new foundation, a new structure to support that which you say that you want, right? And so if you're saying, you know, within the next 6 months, because again, the winter solstice is not as like quick as a new moon. Like you said, a little new moon intention and then 30 days. Now it can happen in 30 days, but the winter solstice is long, slow acting, not slow acting because it can be fast, but I'm envisioning, like, have you ever taken a like medicine that is slow releasing your system, like a 12? I'm thinking about this because I had to take allergy medicine the other day, and it was like a 12-hour release. So it was in my system, and it was slowly releasing its medicine over a 12-hour period of time. That is what the winter solstice is like, right? It is slowly, you know, it's constantly dripping out your intentions to you over a period of time. Yes, like a marination. Yes, yes, yes. So this is a big deal, y'all. Winter solstice is a big deal. Because it's what happens during the winter solstice that you should really be able to see 6 months from now during the summer solstice. In the summertime, everybody's like, ew, that's, you know, ooh, it's summer. They want to be all out and all their blessings, right? But it's only those who sowed the seeds now that will see the blessings at that time, and even before that time, right? So it is very important then that you, as the representative of God in the physical form on this earthly plane, that you level yourself up and you become the reciprocal of that which you say you want. For example, if you set an intention to really welcome in a new partner in your life, a love relationship in your life with somebody who is generous, and you have a problem receiving, then it's going to be very difficult for you to receive that which you say that you want, because you're saying, "Ooh, I want a man, or I want a woman who is very, you know, generous with their time, with their energy, with their money with me. They share those things with me, right? They pour those things to me." But if you have a hard time receiving, then it's going to, somebody very generous can cross your path and you won't even see it. You might even be annoyed by it. Like, here he come. He always trying to give me something. You asked for somebody who's generous. So you've got to, you asked that, and the blessing came. So now what? Saturn's like, okay, you got to be responsible for what you asked for. So you have to become somebody who is able to receive, right? And so how do you practice this? In that example, If your good friend just comes over and brings you a Christmas gift or a Kwanzaa gift, a Kwanzaa Zawadi is what we call it. You can't be like, oh, you ain't have to give me nothing. No, you have to say, oh, thank you. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right? When somebody gives you extra napkins in the drive-thru, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Extra ketchup packets. Oh, thank you so much. Anytime somebody gives to you, you have to practice receiving, because that's the intention that you set. If you set an intention saying, okay, I want to be this wonderful entrepreneur who makes six figures a quarter, because that is definitely possible. You make six figures a quarter in your business, and you think that means that you just gonna chill, and relax. No, that means that, okay, if you're wanting that, you have to begin to level up your work ethic, your discipline, your behaviors, all of that kind of stuff, even how you interact with customers, all of that stuff has to level up to match what you are saying you want, because it's really like a socket. Like, okay, well, I know I'm past my 15 minutes, y'all. Oh, help me. Anyway, so I have my headphones right here, right? And there are certain devices that this won't fit in. And so it doesn't, I can keep trying to put it in the wrong device. It's not going to fit. So I have to find the match. And so, yes, it is about doing the work, but it's also about becoming. Doing comes after you become. Your doing is a match to who you are. So you have to become the person who has a spouse who is generous with them. You have to become the entrepreneur who earns six figures a year. And when you become that in your mind and in your heart, and you really become that person, just take a few days. It just, not even do so much just yet. Just become. What does it feel like to be that person? What does it feel like to be that person who has this, who does this, who earns this or whatever, right? Once you get really clear on that feeling, so much so, then your actions begin to reflect that. If you think about everything that you do now, it's because of who you are. There's certain things you don't do now because it's not a part of who you are, right? If you're not, I'm gonna use if you're not a thief, right? If you're not somebody who's always stealing and stuff, then you ain't stealing. Like, you can go to the store, you buy what you want. Your behaviors reflect your beliefs about yourself and what you know about yourself. So if somebody said, girl, I done saw you in the store stealing everything, you'll be like, no, you didn't, because that's not even who I am. Like, it didn't even cross my mind to do that, because it's not even who I am at my core, right? So who you are, you have to level up who you are at your core. Begin to see yourself living the life that you desire. And then what will happen is you will naturally start to do. You'll get an idea to do a certain thing, right? There are certain people, I have a class. I wonder if I should make this available. I have a class called I can't remember the exact name. I think it's the 9 Keys to Manifesting Whatever You Want, right? And I talk about in that class how I had asked a friend to 2 different people who wanted to purchase a new home, right? Or wanted to no longer live where they live, right? And one person, I was like, girl, let's go, go to these open houses and just walk through them or whatever. And she was like, yeah, girl, what you doing? So we went on ahead and did that and walked through, $100,000 houses, $250,000 houses. One was almost $1 million house, right? Because she didn't have any limiting beliefs about what was possible. I asked another person who came to me and said, I'm looking for a new house or whatever. And I was like, oh, we should go look at houses. And she was like, I can't do that, because this is just going to make me mad if I go in there and I see all these fabulous houses and I can't afford and I can't. She wouldn't even go look, right? So her doing was blocked by her being. Her very being self couldn't see herself really, even though she wanted it, right? Her being self couldn't see herself having it. Therefore, she wouldn't do the work. So a lot of times the work that we won't do is because we are not the person yet who believes that that's possible. So as we are setting these intentions, you can set intentions all day long. And an intention, if we get really, 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 really real about it, an intention is what you intend and expect to have, period. So if you're setting intentions that you don't even really believe in, you really didn't set an intention. I give you another example. That's why when you go to, like you watch, I was watching Law and Order earlier today, and I think the person that was on trial, they killed somebody, whatever, and they were like, but did you intend to do it? Because your intention will determine your jail sentence, right? So your intention is very, very, very powerful. If you're setting beliefs and, if you're setting desires and quote unquote intentions that you don't even believe are possible, then it's almost like you're trying to fraud the universe. Universe, give me this thing that I don't even believe I'm worthy of or can have or whatever. No, an intention is, this thing is sure enough going to happen. Okay, so when we are setting these intentions on the 21st, with the added bonus, the added push of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, again, Aquarius is visionary. So we got to see long term. What's the biggest, most craziest vision that you have for yourself that other people might be like, I don't even know why you believe in that big? Because that's Aquarius energy. Aquarius influences us to believe for something that has not even been seen yet. Going back to my example about Apple, when Steve Jobs was envisioning the iPod and the iPad and that was like, what are you talking about, right? But now every company has touch screens. He changed the trend. He changed the whole trajectory of technology, and Aquarius deals with technology as well. So when we think about the big visions that we have for our life, what's the biggest, most craziest thing that you truly desire in your heart that other people might say you are crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even see that, but you see it, right? Then set the intention. Then spend the 21st, December 21st, and I don't know why I'm feeling 3 days. Actually, yeah, because 3 is very important when it comes to the 21st. It's 21 divided by 3, 7, and the sun seems to go away for like 3 days. It goes short for like 3 days and then it rises again. The whole thing, that's why we celebrate, and the whole Jesus story and being born, all that. I ain't gonna go down that road because I'm already past my 15 minutes. But anyway, so for 3 days, yes, for 3 days, those of you who are listening, for 3 days, and you can start it on the 21st, begin to be the person. Don't worry about doing, because some of the doing part you ain't ready for, right? If you making $20,000 a year and you're believing to start a company where you make $150,000 a quarter, you're going to, what I say about that slow release, right? It's going to be a slow release that builds you and builds you and builds you and grows you and grows you and grows you to that point. Now it can happen in 6 months. It could happen next month. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's a limit to when it can happen. I'm saying that the power will be will grow you and mature you to that point, right? And so for the next 3 days, don't worry about all of a sudden overthrowing every belief that you have and trying really hard, because if you try too hard, it just kind of becomes contradictory. But practice being the person who has and does what you want to have and do. Just practice feeling like that person. When that person gets up in the morning, what would that person do? What would that person think? How would that person feel? That's the better question. How would that person feel? How would it feel to earn 6 figures in your business every quarter? How would it feel to have the love of your life who is generous to you in your life? How would that feel? How would you wake up in the morning? Practice that for 3 days. Practice waking up feeling how that person would feel having what you desire, right? Practice that feeling for 3 days. Then in 3 days' time, whatever you feel compelled or urged or led to do, start doing. And it could be something as simple as, okay, this person always gets up and they do, they get on their treadmill and they work out. All right. So then it's time for you to get up and work out. Right. So for 3 days, practice feeling being that person. Then after that, practice whatever you feel you should do. Begin to do that thing. Begin to practice that thing. Mama J! Girl, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you. Oh, love, 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 love. Oh, so for the first 3 days, again, yeah, Alicia, 3 is your number. 3 is one of my favorite. Now, I'm a life path 6, which, okay, is divisible by 3 or 3 is whatever. So, 3 has always been like one of my favorite numbers. But, so tomorrow we got our winter solstice on the 21st, and we have that conjunction happening. Both are going to be slow and time released. They're going to constantly be pouring blessings, constantly be stretching us to grow. And we might feel that discomfort, especially in January. We might all feel like, oh God, wait a minute, this weight, can I go back to my old, and even globally, we might see a lot of changes happening. Change is always uncomfortable. So we might feel some change. We got that inauguration coming up. We got, things happening on a global scale where we might feel a bit of discomfort, but you got to keep the vision. Peace, Jeremy. Oh yes, Mama J, you lucky. Bless Henry. But so for the next, especially in January, if we're seeing changes and shifts that feel uncomfortable, but like Aquarius, again, Saturn and Jupiter are moving into Aquarius, the visionary. Aquarius energy is not moved by what other people say is impossible. So you got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to keep, if you thinking tomorrow with this conjunction and this winter solstice is going to boom, magically just make things happen in your life, you're sadly mistaken, because Aquarius energy knows, just like I use the example with Steve Jobs, they know they got to go against the grain. They know they got to believe just a day longer than everybody else. They got to hold on to the vision a day longer than everybody else, because it typically takes other people a while to catch on to the vision that Aquarius energy has. So whatever big vision you have for your life, if you sit there and wait for everybody else to agree, to sign on, to give you kudos about it, that may or may not happen. And if you think it's just going to be easy, because you got the vision for something that's just going to be easy. One of the things that I learned, and with this coming into this, this Christmas season, if we want to take a lesson from the biblical story of Jesus, right? The wise men had to see something beyond their comprehension in the sky to make them take that journey all the way with their gold, frankincense, and myrrh, lie to the king about, nah, we ain't seen no baby Jesus. So the vision sometimes has to be so big so that when you meet obstacles, adversity, challenges, naysayers, doubt, fear, unbelief within, the vision is so clear that it keeps you going even when you have no other reason to continue to believe, to continue to hope, to go the distance. Again, what I say, this winter solstice and this conjunction are like time release medicine. They're constantly, if you thinking it's just tomorrow, you're mistaken. It's going to constantly be releasing its energy to you starting tomorrow, actually starting now. I can feel it now, right? So it's slowly releasing that to you, right? So as I close, 'cause I said 15 minutes, and my 15 minutes started at 2:22 my time. So I'm already like 40 minutes past it. But what do we do? Get quiet on December 21st. If you have errands you have to run, if you have to go to work, do that. But allot some time to be quiet. Set intentions that have nothing to do with what other people say you should want, you should have, you should be, you should do, right? Cut out the distractions. Just get with you and God, you and your higher self, you and your spirit, you, however you define that, right? Get very, very clear on the vision, because again, Saturn and Jupiter deal with, in Aquarius, deal with the long-term vision. Be very, very clear about your vision, minus any doubt, minus any fear, minus any limitations, because sometimes we put limitations on ourselves. We say, I want this big, fabulous thing, but nobody in my city has this big, fabulous thing, so I guess it's not possible. And well, maybe you can be the first one, you know? So don't limit yourself based on anything you see, right? Based on anything that already exists. See the vision, then set the intention. Again, an intention is very different from a wish or a want. An intention, I can say I want to go to the store, or I can say, oh, I intend to go to the store today at 3:00. You know, that's totally different, right? An intention is something that is all but guaranteed, pretty much. It's just a matter of you walking it out, right? So set the intention to have, to be, to do the things that you desire. Spend 3 days just feeling, 3 days, spend 3 days just feeling what that intention feels like. If you had whatever it is that you're desiring, I'm doing like this because for like 2 seconds, I was like, you know what? I want a whole new wardrobe, right? So feel what that feels like to be somebody who has those things that you desire. What does it feel like for 3 days? Don't worry about doing nothing. Don't worry about, oh, I got to, you know, throw all that anxious energy out. Again, this whole conjunction is telling us to throw away old structures, but set new ones, right? So throw all that out. Raising stars. Oh my gosh, me and CQ were just talking about you the other day. I'm on my last bar of soap. I need to message you. Anyway. So set that intention for 3 days. Intend to just immerse yourself in the feeling of everything that you desire. Don't worry about doing anything about it. Just feel it. Just feel it. Practice feeling it even when people say it's not possible for you to have what you have. You know what I'm saying? Feel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Raising Stars. So just practice feeling it, right? Just immerse yourself in the feeling for 3 days. After those 3 days, whatever you feel, oh, I should be doing this, or I should start doing that. Whatever it is, start doing it. Now, don't get all extra unless what you feel to do is extra. But peace, CQ on here, the other half of the Good Asé. Yay! But whatever you feel after 3 days that you should be doing after this winter solstice, then start doing it. Baby step your way. And the universe will give you the energy to do it, right? And then watch. And then, and this is very important, then become the reciprocal of that which you ask for. Again, if you're saying, oh, I want a partner who is just so generous and everything, and you still have a hard time receiving, then you're not ready for a partner who's generous. If somebody gives you a gift and you're like, oh, you didn't have to, but universe, please give me a man who's generous. But girl, you asking for a man who's generous, but you don't even receive gifts from your friends or from your loved ones, right? You have a hard time asking for extra ketchup at the drive-thru and receiving, I don't know if I can ask for, So start becoming the person who knows that you are worthy of receiving the generosity of a loved one. Start becoming the reciprocal of that which you were asking for. So that is y'all's assignment. That is my gift to you. I should have put my Cash App in here. If y'all want to give me a love offering for this good free word, it is if y'all want it. You know what? I just said generosity. So I'm gonna put it on in here and see who gonna be generous before Christmas and Kwanzaa. tpenterprises. Oh, y'all, I gotta spell prizes. Cash App. Because I'm always in the receiving mode. Receiving all things that are good. Thank you so much, CQ. Thank you for putting that in there. For those of you, because what I shared here, if you do that, those, I think I gave you like 4 steps, right? If you do it, watch the blessings come. Oh, Brandy, Brandy, you know what? Brandy, I'm a pull one card for you offline though, and I'm a record it and send it to you. Just because you were the first one. Just because you were the first one. Anybody else give a gift. It's just you will receive later on. The universe will give unto you. But Brandy, I'm gonna pull a card for you and send you the recording of that. All right. So I so appreciate it. Make sure that y'all get our 8-stone survival kit. We're only gonna have it available for you to purchase that for the next 2 days. It will be available for you all to watch the 1-hour workshop on Christmas Eve, and you'll have access to it for 30 days. And we will send out the 8 crystals and gemstones to you that's included with that message. So as always, oh y'all, I'm so thankful. Oh, I just felt so much love right now. I'm so thankful. I am so thankful. Mama J, you got me. I love you. I love you. I love y'all. I love y'all. 2021 can be a magical year if you let it, if you let it. So peace and blessings to everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know, comment below, like what you got out of this message here. And until we speak again, as always, I'm wishing you all so much peace and love. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Peace.